my first book reviews, and today I'm going to review one local book from local author which I think very good but a little underlooked. So without any further ado, let's begin. The book I'm going to review today or talk about today is The Search for Merlin, the Grey Labyrinth. I have the book in here. This is the second book of the Search of Merlin trilogy and the only book I read out of 3. The first book is The Death to Come, and the second one, the last one, the third is The Edge of Misrule. Written by Theos Palar and published in 2011, this book genre is fantasy and historical fiction, and this is the first book that got me into reading. With 261 pages, this book is not intimidated for the beginner to read. You can read it for a month or less, and this is my book. It looked old and the paper already turned yellow because I get this long time ago, for like 2012 or 2013. So I will begin with the book information before I jump into my opinion about this book. And disclaimer, this video will contain a spoiler of the book, and most of the reviews are my opinion aside the book information. Of course, if you have different opinion, feel free to comment down below. I already made summary in the paper about this book, so first I'm going to read the synopsis so you can get the bigger picture about what this book is about. The time of you old wizards is coming to an end. There will come the time of mortal wizards like us. A mysterious, massive explosion occurs in Pennines, England. Children gifted in alchemy disappear from the Arabian Peninsula and Asian Minor. Jasper de Croix claims to wish to meet his archenemy, Arthuric Abden. Evert, Edward's best friend, can no longer see the future. Many new, intertwined mysteries await unraveling, all rooted in a long-buried grudge that seeks revenge, even if it will drag the entire world into a new direction of history. Edward is faced with a difficult choice. Will he help the hated Council of Wizards or put people he loves in danger? So, I promise you guys, the story is not far from the synopsis, and basically this is what the story is about. So you already have the picture where this story is going and what it's about. Wizard, magic, and mysticism. And I'm going to give character and story breakdown based on the synopsis. Alright, so the first line in the synopsis is the time of you old wizards is coming to an end. What is old wizards? Who is old wizards? What's the different old wizards with new wizards? Well, in the book, there are no new wizards, but there are mortal wizards. In this information, we can conclude that the old wizard is the opposite of mortal wizards, which is the immortal one. Now, immortal wizards or old wizards is not like elf or vampire that they live forever. They do die, but they just have very long age. And also, Ivar, Edward's best friend, can no longer see the future. So, like Edward's, Ivar also a wizard with his ability to see the future. This gives us information that every wizards have distinctive ability. Some see the future, some illusion, some time travel maybe, and some erase the history, you name it, something like that. And also, of course, Edward is our main character. The story will include and at the end around Edward and his relationship with Wizard's Council and his unfinished relationship with the Wizard's Council, because Edward has history with them in the past. And besides Edward, there are many other characters that appear in this book, and the author is generous enough to give us list of the character that will appear in this book. See? So we don't have to guess who is who and who is doing what. But I already make summary which character will be appear the most. Of course, we have Edward Twickenham or Edward Abden. Our main character, he is the descendant of lost Fiona from Ireland and Glamorgan wizard. Edward's best friend, Ivar Evort from Denmark. I'm so sorry guys if I pronounce the name of character or places incorrectly. I don't get used to with this name. And William Gray, he is the student of Edward. Jasper de Croix, of course, he's French. Vespacchio from Genoa. And there are council members who appeared the most: Gustav Gustafsson, Adrian from Wallachia, and Wang Feiyan. And other significant characters in this book are Louisa, which is Edward's daughter, Doyle Couple, Leopold, and Henry Cavendish. This story is historical fictions which use real historical events, even people in this story. The time setting that the author took, actually, it is a real time setting in our history. Started from 1346 to 1750s, that is 14th to 18th century. In Baroque to beginning of classical era, if you ask me. And again, the author is generous enough. Shout out to Tias Palar to give us a little history lessons in this book. She wrote who kings are reigning during that time, and in 1346 King Edward III is reigning on England, and in 1750s King George II is reigning. And also it took this story to place in the real places in this world. For example, Genoa in Italy, London and Salisbury in England, Constantinople, Lisbon, and other things. Although they usually use old name, for example, Constantinople instead of Istanbul, and a lot of places using old names before what we know they are today. But they are still real place. And even though it's not really described enough, described a lot in the book, we still can see the event, what's going on in the book, by a hint of what the characters went through, like such the Black Death, alchemical tradition. In the synopsis, it mentioned children gifted in alchemy. So alchemy basically is a science mixed with mysticism that is something popular back then in Europe and around Constantinople, and a lot of scientists, scholars call themselves alchemists. The War of Rose, and also Henry Cavendish. He's a real person, and he's a founder of hydrogen. In fact, Henry's role in this book is quite significant, although he's not appear a lot in the book, but his role in this book is a catalyst to the events of what happened in the book. And this is the fun part, my opinion about this book. So I cannot agree with don't judge a book by its cover when I buy random book in a bookstore, because I did judge this book by the cover. It's really gloomy and dark, mysterious, with the man and the gate, and he's about to enter the Grey Labyrinth. And after read the synopsis, I decided to buy it because I don't know, this book just reminded me a lot about Harry Potter, but denser in history, so it's heavier than Harry Potter, darker, more mysterious, wicked, morally grey. And it's just me or everybody, after they read a book, if someone talk about certain book, or I remember the book I read, I always remember one memorable scene of the book I read. And for this book, the scene I always remember is when a wizard called Wang Feiyan, she is an illusion wizard and member of the council, bewitched someone with her finger, while the other council member behind her opening a gate to the Grey Labyrinth. And I forgot what really she said and who really she bewitched. I think it's Edward or maybe someone else, but the vibes is really tensing, like she tried to bewitch another wizard. And because the victim is the wizard, he cannot be bewitched, so the victim is just paralyzed and fully aware what the council doing, what Wang Feiyan and her group doing. Because this is the second book and there is closing book, which is the third one. This book giving a lot of questions, which I hope will be answered in the next book, in the last book. And the questions I have for these books regarding the story is, how is the fate of the wizards, not only the old one but also the mortal one? Will there be a war between old wizards and mortal wizards, or the age of wizard will end? what happened to the kidnapped gifted children? Who kidnapped them? Why were they taken? And about the council, actually the council is a great mystery, and it is reminded question and gray, because that's why this book called Gray Labyrinth. Maybe there are a lot of questions, very mysterious, although the story will unraveling itself. But I feel like this book is not really uncover what's really going on, just giving us the event. Oh, this happened, but don't give us the reason why. And I think that's what makes the book is really good. It reminds me of the another trilogy that I have read. The second is also like this. A lot of mystery, a lot of unanswered questions. And the most profound question, I think, what is the Grey Labyrinth? It's the title in the book, but what is Grey Labyrinth really? The thing is, the character not really explaining what is the Grey Labyrinth nor the event. Of course, there are few characters that went on to the Grey Labyrinth, but it's just like that. They open the gate and they go there. What is Grey Labyrinth really? So, from my interpretation, which of course I have wrote here, the Grey Labyrinth is a mysterious hidden maze of series of passage and tied to Merlin's secret wisdom, place where knowledge, power, magic, and truth is concealed. But also, the Grey Labyrinth could be the metaphor of last test before someone could be a great wizard. It's like moral test where you are or the wizard faced with difficulty. They impossible to choose. Like Edward here is forced to choose whether help the council of wizards he hates or put people he loves in danger. And to be honest, it's really remind me of the labyrinth, the tunnel in the Wheel of Time series. That's what I imagine the Grey Labyrinth is like. And also, what is or who is Merlin? Of course, we know in the magic world, Merlin is the greatest wizard. But in this book, he only mentioned it. We don't know what is Merlin, who is Merlin, what happened to Merlin. And I think Merlin's status is like the Grey Labyrinth. It's really up to the reader in this book whether you interpret it as a tangible person or place or metaphorically. So yeah. And I will give this book rating 3 out of 5. Will I recommend this book? I think I will. For reader who love reading historical fiction and dark magic thing, mysticism. If you love Harry Potter but want something heavier than that, darker, morally grey, wicked. So I think that's all my review for this book. I hope I don't spoiler you a lot. And I do really recommend, if you want to read this book, read all of them. Don't read only one like me. That is really bad, because reading is knowledge. Even if it's just fiction, you will get the answer and you will not die curiously. Anyway, that's all for today. and I hope you enjoy my book review. I'll see you in the next review. Bye. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm so tired. I feel tired today. I just sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about when I'm tired.